Hey all, welcome back to Howieverse. This is Howie, a principal AI engineer giving you my investment point of view on AI industry. In this video, we'll comment on a video interview of Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia. We'll discuss is AI a bubble right now? Is Nvidia a bubble right now that will pop soon? Also, in the video, the CEO of Nvidia, Jensen Huang, is investing in this one company. We shall see if this company that is invested by Nvidia is an actual investment or it is just a hype. So let's get to it.
Let's talk about vendor financing, because that has been something that has raised a lot of questions on Wall Street since you cut this deal with OpenAI. Yesterday, Bloomberg is reporting that you have a $2 billion in financing that you're going to be involved with xAI to help them with these same stories. But this idea of circular financing.
Let's talk about circular financing real quick. Circular financing actually look like this. A lot of people say this is the cause of AI bubble. This is AI scam. Actually, this look like a standard business practice to me. So here we have Nvidia down here is investing $100 billion in OpenAI, and OpenAI takes that $100 billion to purchase services from Oracle. And Oracle used that $100 billion to purchase hardware like GPU from Nvidia, right? So this is the circular financing that we're talking about. A lot of people call this AI scam because it creates infinite money glitch. However, the reason why I call this standard business practice because it looked like this. So what we have here is Alice is paying Bob $100 for car maintenance service, and Bob used that $100, for example, to get a haircut from Charlie, and Charlie spent that $100 on Alice for Uber service. So this circular financing actually looks like its money is just going around. It's the same $100. It's the same $1 billion that is going around with the same people. A lot of people do this. A lot of companies do this. This is just a standard business practice. Countries do this. So this is nothing scammy. And the only things that this is just uncommon because $100 billion involved instead of a few $1,000,000 or hundreds of $1,000,000, right? So this is a big money.
Customers can't afford to buy these chips yet, so you're going to help them out with money along the way. That leads some people to think back to what happened with companies during the big buildup like a Lucent or a Nortel in the early days. Is this different, and if so, how?
Well, first of all, xAI, I'm super excited about the financing opportunity that they're doing. You know, the only regret I have about xAI, we're an investor already. The only regret I have is I didn't give him more money. You know, almost everything that Elon's part of, you really want to be part of as well. And he gave us the opportunity to invest in xAI. I'm just delighted by that. And so that's an investment into a really great future company, and I'm really excited about that. That's not vendor financing per se, but
I tend to agree that don't bet against Elon. Yes, Elon could be, Elon, but a lot of the companies that he built, Tesla, PayPal, SpaceX, everything is successful, and he is not going to let those companies go bankrupt, and he has the track record, like I would say 100% success track record. So no one can beat that in business.
what's going on in the world versus what happened in 2000 is just dramatically different. You know, back then, as you recall, there were pets.com, hospitals.com, and all of the internet companies combined was, what, 30, 40 billion dollars in size? If you look at the hyperscalers now, that's where the first tranche of AI infrastructure is building. If you look at the AI, the hyperscalers, that's about $2.5 trillion of business that's already operating today. That business, that $2.5 trillion business, and the capex that goes underneath that is about, call it $500 billion. That transition from a classical CPU-based computing to now generative AI computing powered by GPUs, that transition is just starting. So we've got to build into $500 billion worth of capacity infrastructure that's already naturally growing by itself, and we're in the beginning phases of that. If you just look at NVIDIA's AI infrastructure business, call it a couple of $100 billion so far, we're a couple of $100 billion into a multi-trillion-dollar build-out.
So let me try to translate that into English. So back in 2000, what he was saying that the businesses that were in the internet era, it was really small. However, the valuation itself is really, really high. So there's a big discrepancy there. And until today, the natural progression of the computing power from the CPU base to the GPU base. So what that means is that just you can think of the natural progression of the computing power itself. We are at the current natural progression. So there is no bubble at all. It just naturally happened that right now we have this computing capability with the Nvidia hardware. And we are just starting to have even more computing power, even more infrastructure to support all of this AI. So he was saying we're not in a bubble. The bubble hasn't started yet. The AI mania has not even started yet. This is just the beginning. So this is what he was saying.
Build out. So that's number one. The second part of it that's really unique is that we have a new generation of AI companies. The new AI companies like OpenAI and Anthropic and xAI and companies that are well, Thinking Machine Labs from Mira and Ilya Sutskever's SSI and Misha's company Reflection. And I mean, there's a whole bunch of amazing AI model builders now. This generation of AI model builders, what's happened in the last several months, a transition happened that is really, really important. For the last several years, they've been generating tokens, these AI tokens, basically at a loss. And the reason for that is because the early AI models they were super interesting, really captivated a lot of attention, but they weren't useful enough to pay for. The last several months, it's been very clear that the new technology is now reasoning, it's doing research. Before it answers a question, it goes on the web and studies other PDFs and websites. It can now use tools, generate information for you, and it creates responses that are really useful. I use it every day.
I tend to agree all of this AI has been becoming really, really useful, and you can do the deep research with OpenAI, for example, their platform. They can give you a really elaborate deep research. There are 20 pages of PDF that you pay only $20 per month. However, although it's really useful and it's becoming really powerful, as Jensen said here, I don't know if it's profitable enough yet. A lot of the platform that are offering this, for example, like Google Gemini, they provide this for free. And OpenAI, a lot of the prompt that you use for OpenAI, they're essentially free, right? I don't know how many people are using their paid version, but I think it's only a fraction of those people. And the paid version is only $20. And that is not a lot of money. And that's only for the consumer side, right? However, you can also pay $200 to OpenAI to get a more computing power in terms of if you need a lot more deep research, right? So if you use more than, I think, 30 plus per month, then yeah, you pay $200. But I think there's a fraction of people that are actually need that $200 per month service. Maybe they have other type of services that they sell to B2B, right? So that may be different. So I really need to see the number to essentially tell that the OpenAI is actually profitable.
The point where now the tokens are profitable.
The
Yeah.
question
See, I'm not sure if the token is profitable. So that we need to do some deep research if all of this company has actually become profitable.
though is who is going to continue to pay for that build out? Is it the big companies like a Procter and Gamble? Is it consumers who are going to do this? I mean, my doctor showed me the AI that he's using, and it's incredibly helpful. But there's still a question about whether he's going to pay for it or the company he works for is going to pay for it.
Well, hopefully both. I think there's the consumer part of it. You know, a lot of OpenAI customers.
Yeah, the consumer part of it, I don't think they pay a lot of money. It's only $20 a month. And if you think about like Netflix subscription, if they got a mass of people that are using it, sure. However, Netflix also have their advertising platform as well. So I'm not sure if they are truly profitable at this point with only $20 a month, or maybe just only a fraction of people that are going to upgrade those to the highest level from the consumer side that is consuming $200 per month.
Are consumers, and they're paying for it. But the thing that's really cool is that the enterprise AI build out that's happening now. My favorite enterprise AI service is Cursor. Cursor is an AI coder.
Cursor is really good if you are a coder or developer that generate a lot of code. You should use it.
And every one of our engineers, 100%, is now assisted by AI coders, and our productivity has gone up incredibly. And so you're now seeing enterprise AI companies like Cursor, Open Evidence, I love Lovable. All of these companies are some of the fastest growing companies in the world, and they address enterprise. And so enterprise AI is here.
I wonder how you think about, Jensen, the ultimate destination where all this is actually building toward. I don't know, there was a post from David Conn, he's a Sequoia partner, this week saying, look, AGI is the only thing that can justify the volumes of capital spending right now, artificial general intelligence. At the same
AGI is actually really far away. I would argue it's still decades away, but let's see what they got.
model builders and experts are pushing out the date where that maybe is going to be achievable. Meantime, you're talking about annual generations of chips. How fast do they depreciate? We're putting all this capital in these data centers that it's just not clear, like when we get to the end, or is it just a treadmill?
We are going to have incredibly profitable and incredibly useful AIs long before AGI. And
That's right. So Jensen actually say AGI is it's really far away, but let's see what he has to say between now to when we actually get the AGI.
for example, right now, Cursor AI.
Yeah.
You know, Cursor's AI software coder is incredibly useful. All of our engineers use it. We have some 40,000 engineers. Almost every one of them are going to use it, and they're loving it. And so
They're using it instead of something else, presumably, right? So these are
there's
displacing things.
Yeah, they're not. This is a brand new thing.
Yeah.
Remember, AI, unlike previous technologies are tools that humans use. Excel is a tool that humans use. A web browser is a tool that humans use. For the very first time, we have technology that can actually use tools by itself. And so Cursor uses, Visual C++, and and now we have Gemini agents.
So he is talking about the agentic tool. So tools that AI can use. For example, you prompt your AI to book a flight or book a hotel for you. So it will actually search for different API that is trying to do the web browsing. For example, if you book a hotel, it will try to look for Expedia or other website out there and essentially just trying to book everything based on the requirement. You can tell the AI, I need 4 days stay in this location. Please just get me a location that is 5 minutes away from public transportation. And it will use like Google Maps to determine that, this and that, and then all of that just prompt that you tell to the AI. So it's basically like a secretary that is booking flight or booking hotel for you, and all of those tools are already here and you can use it within ChatGPT, I think. And all that you have to do is to pull up your credit card and pay for the booking. So this is really great, and this is what Jensen is talking about.
That are able to use the browser and browse for groceries or destinations or book travel for you, and it can use tools by itself. So this is really quite an extraordinary thing. The tool industry is a few $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Tool user industry is $100 trillion, which is the reason why everybody's so excited about the future of technology, because it could augment labor, it can increase the productivity of labor, and here at Nvidia, it's increased our productivity tremendously.
You've already
I'm skipping ahead, but let's hear the last part here, which I think is really, really important.
Jensen, let's talk a little bit about capital allocation and how you see that. Just back to those same points, that you wish you had more invested in OpenAI, you wish you had more invested in these other companies that you're kind of taking stakes in, like an XAI. You can do things with your money. You can choose to put it back into R&D. You probably don't need a ton with that right now. You can choose to build the company. You can choose to make acquisitions. You can choose to give shareholders back big dividends, or you can invest it yourself in other companies. And lately, what we've seen is a lot of investing in other companies. Do you have other deals like that planned in the works?
We're always looking for great startups to invest in. One of my favorite ones was CoreWeave.
Right.
My only regret is I didn't invest
Add that to the list.
enough. Yeah. And so in all of these investments that we've made recently, we've made some really terrific investments, and largely my only regret is that we didn't invest more.
Let's talk about CoreWeave. CoreWeave, since their IPO at $40 per share, now is $136 and some change per share, and it's been up almost 250% since their IPO. And what does the company do? The CoreWeave is a cloud infrastructure technology company. The company offers the CoreWeave cloud platform, which consists of software and cloud service that deliver the automation and efficiency needed to manage complex artificial intelligence AI infrastructure. This space in cloud infrastructure is really fierce, and in my opinion, companies like Amazon, Azure by Microsoft, and also Google, the GCP, Google Cloud Platform, they are the competitor of CoreWeave as a cloud infrastructure technology company. And yes, the cloud infrastructure technology company, the TAM is really huge. However, the competition is really fierce. If you think about the Amazon, they do have this AI infrastructure going on with cloud, right? And or their cloud platform is a really, really strong product, and it's really sticky for many companies that is using their product. And also Azure, they also have this kind of AI infrastructure as well. So I do not buy that CoreWeave is going to be one of the winner here. Maybe I'm wrong, right? So it could be the TAM is really huge. They can take a big chunk of this infrastructure, cloud infrastructure. However, I think this is kind of sketchy for me, CoreWeave. For the financial, they have been making a lot of money in terms of revenue. The growth is insane. More than 1000% in 2023, and in 2024 700%. That's really insane. And for the net profit, they're not making money, so that is a really big risk, and I don't know when they will eventually making money. And if you know Amazon, their cloud infrastructure is the one that makes more money than the Amazon that is selling to consumer itself. And this company is not making money, so I feel like this company is not worth as for now. And this is 2024, right? If we look at the 2025, the total revenue is $3.5 billion. That's up almost 200%, right? So if this goes to $4 billion by the end of 2025, that's like 200%. And they, in terms of net income, they're still not making money. And if we go back here, and for the revenue, since that's 200%, the growth rate has been declining. So from 1,000%, 700%, now only 200% if they go to $4 billion in revenue by the end of 2025, right? So a lot of risk here. I'm not sure if this company is investable. Currently, this is a momentum stock, so it might go up by a lot, but at some point it's going to crash back down to where the proper price is. If you look at the market cap, this is $67 billion. So, what do you think? Are we in AI bubble because of circular financing? Let me know down in comment below. Also, a lot of things were being discussed in the interview video. It was mentioned that this AI movement is not like the 2000. Additionally, Nvidia is investing in many other companies like Big Brother supporting the entire AI movement, though eventually Nvidia will recoup all its money back to their own pocket because they are the only hardware company out there that runs the AI. The Nvidia hardware and software solution are really sticky that runs on this AI as mentioned in the previous video. You can click on the video at the end to check that out. I'll see you next week.